New on the Creation Club is the CR-74L Combat Rifle, Rifle of the Future, today. Featuring a fully automatic rifle that can tear through your enemies at breakneck speeds, with several different faction skins to customize its look. Created by Stefan Asksas Engdahl. Creation obtained via quest. Minuteman allegiance not required. The CR-74L combat rifle is selling for 400 credits. But is it worth it? Let's find out. Upon arrival in the Commonwealth, we begin the quest Way Back Home. Investigate the woods east of Sanctuary. Heading that way, we pass over a hill until we find the remains of a stone chimney. Near to this chimney is a ruined brick wall, and near to it, we find a small raider camp.
Let's do this! Damn it!
Lying against the brick wall is a corpse surrounded by two dead mongrels. This is the body of Mary Jane, and on her body we find the Commonwealth Travel Guide and Mary Jane's wedding ring. Lying next to her body is a legendary bloodied CR-74L. There are two legendary effects with this weapon. It does more damage the lower our health is, and it grants us plus 75% faster to movement speed while aiming. And this rifle is completely new, unlike anything else we've found in the game so far. I can't wait to dig into this. But first, we can inspect the things that were on Mary Jane's corpse. Her wedding ring appears in the apparel section of our inventory. Looks just like the other wedding rings we find in the game. And we find the Commonwealth Travel Guide as a holotape in the miscellaneous section of our inventory. It's good to empty this section of your inventory before doing this quest, as we'll be navigating back here over and over again. On the holotape, we find 4 entries. Now, the primary quest we get with this creation is mostly unrelated to the actual gun. Instead, it revolves around this digital travel guide that we picked up, and stars 2 characters, Lily and Mary Jane. That quest and those stories, however, are really in-depth and will take a very long time to cover. So for this video, I'm going to focus just on the weapon that we get and the small amount of lore related to that weapon. In an upcoming video, I'll cover everything else, including these 2 characters and the Commonwealth Travel Guide in detail, so stay tuned for that video. For now, to focus on this weapon, we need to read the entry CR-74L. This begins a second quest, Combat Ready. Read the CR-74L modding guide entries. The Commonwealth is a dangerous place, and it helps to be armed. That's why you're going to get some tips from my partner, Mary Jane, on how to customize your very own CR-74L, and make sure your journey is a safe one. And from here on out, it appears to be an interview between Lily and Mary Jane. So, Mary Jane, tell us about this new rifle of yours. What makes it tick?
It doesn't tick. It blows people's heads off.
But why does it look so different?
Well, believe it or not, I got the idea from Cleo. I always wondered how those Assaultrons moved so doggone fast, and wanted to make a gun that was just as light. Always thought it was some voodoo metal, but it's really the pistons inside.
Are you saying that it's not what's on the outside, but the inside that counts?
More or less. With the CR-74L, it works by redirecting the gas from the cartridge to the bolt carrier, making it more compact.
Sounds complicated. Way too complicated for someone like me.
Ha, maybe not you. But yeah, the gun's actually pretty simple to use. The idea is it's a high-tech rifle for the average settler.
So if you're looking to travel the Commonwealth and take along our handy guide, would you recommend the CR-74L to be your trusted companion?
Well, your stinking holotape sure as crap won't save him, so yeah.
Aw, you're so cute when you're mean. In any case, if you're using this guide, Mary Jane's got a list of several locations in the Commonwealth that might help with modding the gun. Happy hunting! After reading this entry, the holotape deletes it and replaces it with a new entry, the CR-74L Modding Guide. To complete the next step on our second quest, we need to read this entry. Here we find 5 new entries. In the first one, Muzzle Suppressor, Once I met a gun dealer who wouldn't shut up. Lily thought she was eccentric. I thought she was flippin' annoying. But her big mouth did give me an idea for a muzzle suppressor. Like all combat rifles, the CR-74L is a loud-ass gun, and one shot will give away your position to everyone in the Commonwealth. Muzzle blast is caused by high temperatures and hot gas, so my idea is to apply a coolant system, the kind used in old-world cars. There might be a car schematic lying around the Red Rocket that'll give you some ideas. With that, our quest log updates to find the Coolant Schematics at the Red Rocket truck stop. These are easy to find. We find them by heading into the truck stop and then going behind the counter. We find the coolant schematics lying on one of the shelves behind the counter. After looting it, we unlock the ability to craft a muzzle suppressor for this weapon and a weapons workbench. Next, there's Reflex Scopes. Best scope modder I ever knew was a guy named Artis. Genius modder, completely nuts. Last I heard, he was fine-tuning weapons for a raider gang in Lexington. I did ask him to work on something for the CR-74L. Guy can't remember what he had for breakfast, but he might remember that. After reading this entry, our quest log updates to find Artis's scope mod recipe in Lexington. Artis is pretty easy to find. From the Lexington apartments, we can follow the road north. Then if we turn left at a pink sedan lying in the middle of the road, we see a fire escape. And here we find the raider, Artis. Climbing the fire escape, we can loot Artis's corpse at the top, and on his body, we find Artis's CR-74L scope recipe. To finish this part of the quest, we have to actually read the scope recipe, and we find it in the miscellaneous section of our inventory. Scope, reflex, 1 aluminum, 1 glass, 2 adhesive, 1 steel, 2 nuclear material, 2 screws, 1 silver, and 87 Zork. Need more Zork. Can't make scopes for this gun without Zork. It's the secret ingredient. The secret ingredient Zork here may be a reference to the Zork series of text adventure computer games published commercially in the 1980s. I'm not sure what Zork has to do with the schematics for this reflex scope, but the interactive Commonwealth travel guide that we'll use for the first quest in a bit may have been inspired by the rich storytelling of Zork. Reading this recipe unlocks the circle and dot reflex sights for the CR-74L. Next, there's the light stock and grip. I had an idea for a custom grip on the CR-74L that's light, but the stock design can make for slippage on the handle. As a workaround, Mo Cronin taught me a trick using a vending machine outside the Dugout Inn. It sells this crap called pine tar, and old ball players used it to keep a grip on their swatters. The thing sticks to your hand like dirt on a mole rat. Only hitch is you'll need pre-war cash to buy it. Mo didn't have any problems though. I think if you're wearing one of those uniforms, the machine dishes the stuff out for free. With that, our quest log updates to go to the Dugout Inn and get the pine tar ingredient from the vending machine outside of it by either spending pre-war money or by dressing up in a baseball uniform. Pre-war money and a baseball uniform are easy to come by. If we don't have a uniform already, we can buy one from Mo himself. And it's cheap, costs about 12 caps. Then, heading to the Dugout Inn, we find the new vending machine right next to the Dugout Inn sign. From this vending machine, we can buy gumdrops, cigarettes, fancy lad snack cakes, and pine tar, going for 25 pre-war bucks or free for players wearing a uniform. If we meet either of those two qualifications, thank you for your purchase. Due to high demand, purchases are limited to 1 per player. If the machine is out of stock, try making your own pine tar with everyday adhesive, acid, and of course, pine wood. Good luck with the game, Slugger, and play ball! With that, we see that pine tar is now out of stock, but we've got one in our inventory. Obtaining the pine tar unlocks the light stock option from the workbench. Next, there are the Fluted Barrels. Lily once asked me if a fluted barrel could play music, but it's not that kind of flute. Fluted barrels have grooves built into the exterior to better vent the gas. This is so the gun doesn't fly up and screw up your aim. The problem is the barrel's made of special composites, so you can't shave it off willy-nilly like a stinking mutant. Daisy and Goodneighbor sells a drill guide that should give a few key tips. With that, our quest log updates to buy a drill guide from Daisy in Goodneighbor. The drill guide appears in the miscellaneous section of Daisy's inventory. We can't actually read the drill guide, but after buying it, we can now craft fluted barrels for the CR-74L at a workbench. Finally, there are the high-grade receivers. I had an idea for how to upgrade the CR-74L receiver, but it was only a rough schematic at the time. Showed it to my mechanic buddy who worked at the diner in Quincy, and he put it in a safe behind the counter so I wouldn't lose it. The key to this safe is in the register, so you don't have to pick the lock. Still, this one might be a pain to get. Whole place got run over by gunners a while back, but if you can get it, it'll be worth your while. With that, we now have to find the receiver schematics in Quincy. This is a good one to do in conjunction with the Minutemen vs. Gunners Creation Club creation, because that one sends us here to clear Quincy anyway. We find the diner in the heart of town, right across the street from the gun shop and Fenton's Foodstuffs. Heading up a ramp and going through a hole in the wall, we can go behind the counter and loot the Quincy Shop Key from the cash register. However, the key doesn't actually work on the wall safe here. I tried it twice on 2 different characters, and the key doesn't work. So to get the schematics, we have to pick an expert lock here. If successful, inside we find the receiver schematics. With that, we unlock the calibrated, hardened, hair trigger, powerful, calibrated powerful, and 5.56 improved and advanced receivers, more than doubling the number of receivers we can use for this weapon. And with that, we complete the quest, Combat Ready. The CR-74L that we find here next to Mary Jane is not the only one in the game. However, I was only able to find one other. I found one for sale on Arturo's inventory at Diamond City. I checked the other merchants, as well as Cleo and Daisy at Goodneighbor, but they didn't have any for sale. Seeing as this was a handmade weapon that Mary Jane herself made, I was still surprised to find one for sale by Arturo. The CR-74L is a gorgeous little weapon, a fully automatic battle rifle unlike anything else we find in Fallout 4. Because it's fully automatic, we can't turn this into a sniper rifle. I mean, we can put scopes on it, but really it's meant for hip fire, not single shots from a long distance. If we unlock all of the receivers, we notice that they all look the same. Changing the receivers doesn't change the look of the weapon. Instead, each receiver grants a different bonus. It comes equipped with the standard receiver. Then there's the light frame receiver, which decreases weight but also reduces damage. The heavy frame receiver, which increases weight but improves damage. The calibrated receiver, which grants better critical shot damage. The hardened receiver, which improves damage. The hair trigger receiver, which has a more sensitive trigger and improves its rate of fire. There's the powerful receiver, which grants superior damage. The calibrated powerful receiver, which grants superior damage, better critical shot damage, and accuracy. And that's the final receiver that uses 45 caliber ammunition. There are 3 different receivers, which use 5.56 ammunition. The round standard receiver, which improves damage. The 5.56 round improved receiver, which grants superior damage, has a more sensitive trigger and a better rate of fire. And finally, the round advanced receiver, which has exceptional damage, a more sensitive trigger, and better rate of fire. Changing from 45 caliber to 5.56 doesn't change the sound of this weapon. Here's what it sounds like with a 45 caliber receiver. And here's what it sounds like with a 5.56 caliber receiver. Note that these are different sound effects from other guns in the game. Here's a comparison of the CR-74L next to the other ballistic automatic weapons in Fallout 4. Upon listening to this a second time while editing, it almost sounded as if the CR-47L is using a slightly altered version of the combat rifle firing sound. Let's listen to that comparison again. maybe I'm getting this wrong, but I think that's the same firing sound, only for the CR-47L, they reduced its volume just a little bit. So let me know what you think about that. Am I right here, or am I getting this wrong? Moving on to barrels, there's the short barrel, which is standard for the weapon. The medium barrel, which improves range and sighted accuracy, grants better recoil, but has poor hipfire accuracy. Then the long barrel, which is on the weapon we find next to Mary Jane. It has superior range and sighted accuracy, better recoil, but again, poor hipfire accuracy. Then if we found the schematic, we've got the fluted barrels here, starting with the short fluted barrel, which grants superior recoil and improved range. The medium fluted barrel, which grants superior range and sighted accuracy, better recoil, but poor hipfire accuracy. And the long fluted barrel, which has superior range and sighted accuracy, exceptional recoil, but again, poor hipfire accuracy. Then there are the enclosed barrels, starting with the short one, which improves damage, better sighted accuracy, and improved range. The medium enclosed barrel, which improves damage, range, and sighted accuracy, grants better recoil, but has poor hipfire accuracy. And the long enclosed barrel, which has better damage, exceptional range and sighted accuracy, better recoil, but poor hipfire accuracy. Next, there are stock options. The first is the standard stock, then the full stock, which is what this weapon has when we find it next to Mary Jane. It has better recoil, and if we unlocked it, we next find the light stock, which grants superior recoil. Here's a comparison of the 3 different stock options. Moving on to magazine, we find 3 options. It comes equipped with the small magazine, which has an ammo capacity of 12. We can upgrade it to the large magazine, which increases its ammo capacity to 30. And finally, there's the drum magazine, which increases its ammo capacity to 60. However, it decreases reload speed. This penalty to reload speed isn't that bad. Here's a side-by-side comparison. Yeah, not that bad. Well worth the upgrade to ammo capacity in my opinion. And of course, each of these magazines looks different. Next, we can move on to sights. It comes equipped with the standard sight, which looks like this. Then there are the glow sights, which improve focus and better sighted accuracy. Then there are the reflex sights, which we unlocked during the quest, the circle reflex sight, which improves focus and sighted accuracy, the dot reflex sight, which does the same thing, and then we have a collection of 3 scopes. There's the short scope, with improved magnification and superior sighted accuracy, the medium scope, with better magnification and superior sighted accuracy, and the long scope, with superior magnification and sighted accuracy. Cosmetically, all 3 scopes look identical, but it is a brand new scope. I don't believe I have seen this type of scope on any other weapon in Fallout 4, so it's a great touch, unique to this weapon. Finally, there are the muzzles. When we find it, it has no muzzles. We can attach a compensator, which improves per-shot recoil, improves recoil control, but reduces range. Here's what it looks like. Then there's the muzzle brake, which has exceptional recoil control, better per-shot recoil, but inferior range. Here's what it looks like. And finally, if we unlocked it during the quest, there's the suppressor, which suppresses sound from firing, has exceptional per-shot recoil, improved recoil control, but poor range. Here's what it looks like. The suppressor is the only muzzle that changes the sound and firing effect of the weapon. And it appears they reused the sound of the suppressed combat rifle for the suppressor on the CR-74L. Here's a side-by-side comparison. Note that other suppressed automatic rifles of the game do sound a bit different. The CR-74L comes with a number of paint scheme options. There's the black and chrome paint, the Brotherhood of Steel paint, the Gunner paint, the Institute paint, the Minutemen paint, and the Vault-Tec paint. Some of the previous Creation Club weapons had the floating hand issue, but that's not the case with the CR-74L. Here my character is holding it, and unlike with the Manuel rifle, the hand actually meets the gun. However, there is one weird issue that I noticed. If you display this weapon on a display rack, the magazine and action disappear. They become transparent. You can see right through them. The same is true if you give this weapon to a companion or a settler. The magazine and action just disappear. This is not the case when the sole survivor uses it, even in third-person mode. It's really weird, and I can't explain it. And that's it for the CR-74L. Now remember, there is another quest with this creation, and a heaping ton of lore content that I skipped for this video. I'm going to tackle it all in detail in my next video. In terms of value, we get a whole lot with this creation. Hours of questing and lore, and the weapon itself, which is well-made, completely unique, only minimally reuses existing in-game assets, and has few glaring flaws. The missing magazine and action when given to an NPC is really the biggest issue, and it's cosmetic only. If I'm being picky, I'm not too keen on the sound of the weapon. I don't know if my ears are deceiving me, but I think it sounds a whole lot like the combat rifle. And it seems lower in volume than many of the other ballistic weapons in the game. It doesn't really pack a beefy punch like I had hoped with this thing. It sounds a little soft. In a previous video, I complained that they reused the combat rifle sound effect for other weapons like the Manuel rifle. And if that's the case here, then I am glad that they tried to alter it to differentiate it from the combat rifle. It is a bit disappointing that we can't turn this into a legitimate sniper rifle, but I get that that's not the intent of this weapon. It's supposed to be a fully automatic rifle, and as a fully automatic rifle, with a number of receiver options, sight and scope options, it has a lot of value and can be modified to fit a number of different playstyles. So even though I feel like, in general, Creation Club items are overpriced, and $4 is just way too much money to spend on one weapon, I still think we walk away with a high-quality, beautiful item. The story that comes with it is its own beast to unravel, which I'm going to tackle in my next episode. I publish many Fallout videos each and every week, so if you don't want to miss it, be sure to subscribe and to click that bell notification button. If you have and you still feel like you're missing out on YouTube notifications, consider following me on Twitter at Oxhorn. I update Twitter manually with every new piece of content that I publish. I've got a brand new shirt in the shop. Enclave. Boast your support for the Enclave and everything they stand for with this brand new design that comes on shirts in a variety of men's, women's, and children's sizes and a wide array of colors. The design comes on other products as well, like smartphone cases, pillows, posters, mugs, stickers, prints, etc. So if interested, you can find a link to my shop in the description below, or you can click here. And yes, as of this publication date, if you buy something now, it will arrive in time for Christmas. If you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming a patron on Patreon or a member here on YouTube. But more than anything, I'm just so glad you're here watching this video with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with more brand new videos.
Go!